Fentanyl. The word is becoming familiar, but too many of us still don't grasp the reality.
Spokane man will spend 20 years in prison for supplying drug dealers with fentanyl in eastern Washington.
A huge drug seizure in Orange County. The sheriff there says they found so much fentanyl that it was enough to overdose every person in Orange County. And authorities say the problem's getting worse. KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Stacey Butler.
My name is Brandon Turner. I'm from San Diego, California, and Japan. Grew up in a middle-class family. Mom was in the medical field. My dad was in the military. I grew up with a big family, brothers and sisters, 6 of them. Or at least I thought they were brothers and sisters. They're really my aunts and uncles, but I didn't find out till later.
Can we dive into that? Because you just threw that in last interview and I was like floored.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
We can talk about it a little.
Is that like a big pivotal point in your life where like things change from like being just a
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was 6. I was on my way after the Gulf War, the war my dad was in. He was commander of the Navy. He's commander of the main aircraft carrier, the Ranger. He came back. We did a Tiger cruise where some of the kids got to get on the aircraft carrier and come from Hawaii to San Diego. After that, he got stationed in Japan. And long story short, me, my mom, my dad were at the airport. All my brothers and sisters were adults already. And so it was just us going. And then I was at the airport, and one of my youngest sisters was with her friend yelling and screaming and hollering at my mom. And my mom was kind of over there, and my dad, we were kind of by the gate. And I just heard her blurt out, "That's my son." And I was just like, what the fuck is she talking about? So that's when I found out that my parents were really my grandparents, and that my brothers and sisters were my aunts and uncles, and one of them was actually my mom.
It's insane.
How did that make you feel? Did you feel betrayed?
No, it just distorted my sense of reality. So I didn't know what was really real, and then that was like part of my trauma, because I didn't know what was real, especially going to a foreign country and getting there. I just didn't know what was real. We were in Japan, and I kept saying China, and they're like, "You're in Japan?" I'm like, "What does it matter?" You know? Like, so it messed with my sense of reality and definitely my trust.
Yeah, like almost like your first experience of like losing faith in people, kind of.
Absolutely. Everything.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck everybody. So.
When did you start skating?
I first got on a skateboard when I was 2 years old. A surfer would skate by every day. After he was in school, he was a teenager, and I would just hear those like sounds going down the street, and we had a lock on my door, and I climbed the chair and unlock it, my diapers, and like run out and just see him go by, and it was over with from then. One day he put me on his board, and it was over. And then my uncle ended up getting me a He-Man board when I was like 5.
When did you get picked up by a big sponsor?
It wasn't a big sponsor. It was a startup company called Voice Skateboards. When I moved back from Japan when I was 12, ended up getting on Voice Skateboards when I was like 13. It was a company started by Kent Russell and Peter Smolik, and at the time they were the most prominent skaters, some of the most prominent skaters in San Diego.
How old were you?
13?
13? So you've been professionally skating your entire life?
Yeah, I've been on my own financially since I was 13.
Wow. Talk about when, like right before you hit your rock bottom, tell us like a couple of things that, that you went through in that time period of your life, because your bottom's a lot different than a lot of people's.
Yeah, well, I did I went to jail a bunch of times. I've got arrested a bunch of times, and then I ended up going to prison. These were due to stacked up DUI charges, gun charges. Didn't have any possession, but like just mischievous stuff that kept stacking up, and I ended up getting sentenced to prison, and then did prison, and then that was like definitely a big bottom, and I still didn't get it 100% after then, and then my cousin ended up dying in 2017, and you know, everyone has that person that's like a roach. It's just like you feel like everything goes well for them, like nothing can happen to them because they just always land on their feet. And that's how my cousin was, and I didn't even know anything about fentanyl in 2017, and then I was just like, how did he die? Is this real? And he liked to do cocaine, so he ended up doing some powder substance and ended up overdosing, and the people he was with got frightened and left him, and he ended up dying. And that was really my bottom, and then my bottom was, it had to come from me. For everybody in recovery, and the reason why like I'm pretty good at what I do is with relating, is because you can't help anyone unless they want to help themselves. And knowledge is not enough, you know? I had the knowledge, I wanted to do it my own way. I didn't want to change, I didn't want to lose my sense of identity, but I didn't know how big my sense of identity related to drinking was. And my bottom was basically coming to the realization when I was fucked up in the mirror and just getting off a call and somebody's talking about my cousin Will, and there's just like, it's just the OD, you know, he OD'd, and then realizing that if I continue to use and something happened to me, that's all I'll be remembered for. Nothing that I did before would even matter, because that's the result. So it was ego. It was my bottom. It was an ego death.
Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And then how did you get help? Like what did you do? What were your steps when you hit that point in your life where you're like, okay, I need to change? Like, people get stuck in that place where they don't know. What did you do?
There's a lot of things that went into it, but to say it simply, I started going to meetings and I had to ask for help. And once I asked for help, I found another man, which I was against. Like, my ego was huge, not to my knowledge, but I just looked at getting help was a weakness. And me as a man stands on his own 2 feet, he figures it out. And me just someone knowing something I didn't know that I didn't feel like I can learn was, you know, the powerlessness. I didn't like being powerless, and plus I had trust issues based on my childhood. So it was a real big step for me to like put my livelihood and how I lived in someone else's hands and actually take their suggestions.
When did you see your life start to change?
Immediately, as soon as probably like 5 days after the shakes went away, and just things just started getting better. I started having more genuine connections. My friends started to change because I had to distance myself. I had to love from afar, and there's good people who still party and hey, they can live their life good, but it turns out it really can't. It's like it might look good on the outside, you know, they might be coaching and have their family and have their boat and everything, but they're really miserable inside because they're really just playing a role of keeping up with the Joneses of what looks good, but you're really only as good as you feel inside.
For sure. I think a lot of us, we were all looking for like that inner peace, that inner void, and we did it through, you know, drugs, through gangbanging, through all of that, you know, and that's kind of what I'm getting from it, is like we need to do the work, you know, we need to work on that inside, you know?
Absolutely, and all of us aren't really as different as we think we are, because really, whether you gangbang or whatever you're doing, like, all everyone wants is love and connection and trust and genuine people. Like, at our core, from wherever we come from, it's just, that's all we need, is the love and connection and support, without any of the games or the noise.
When did you start like tell us, give us a list of everything you do, because I feel like every time we talk, it's like you have like 3 more businesses that, you know, I'm just curious.
Let's backtrack a little bit to the skateboarding career and what that was like. And was that like a problem for maybe your substance abuse or your alcoholism? Because, I mean, from my experience, when I was growing up skating, it was like a kick-it spot where we drank, we smoked. I mean, I don't know if it was like that for you, but did your skating career get in the way? Or, I mean, did it have a part of like your substance abuse?
Let me ask you something. Who's wearing the pants? Because she asked the question first, and I just want to know. I don't want to cross any lines.
Oh,
Just or do you guys interchange back and forth?
You can answer your question.
You're wearing the pants. Okay. Cool. My skateboarding career affected my different way of life and the things I was experiencing, because it was part of it. It's part of the culture. It's part of the art community. It's part of music. It's kind of like, I grew up with that, like, rock star, misfit, fuck the cops personality. So kind of anything with any authority, like the opposite. That's how I was programmed. And it was easy for me because I got the anchor from my family. I was like, yo, fuck them, fuck the police, fuck you. That was my whole outlook on life, and the only people I could trust is my gang. And I didn't learn later till, you know, this was just this was just one big trauma bond. That's all, like, gangs are, and people attract the same energy. And just like, you know, like, you can say that with church or anything, like, people who want to be closer to spirituality or learning more. People who want to learn, go to school. People want to get closer to Jesus, they go to church. If spirituality, they'll go to retreats or, you know, temples or whatever. So that was just how it affected it. Is like, I had to love a lot of people from afar, and I had to, which I looked at as a negative thing growing up, is switching it up. Like, I never fucked with anyone who, like, oh, you're switching it up. And I had to switch it up and own it. People would be like, oh, you switched up, you changed. I'll be like, yeah, you damn right I switched it up and I changed. And it's just like, hey, I'm not better than you or anybody, but I'm better than this. And I really just had to take that power without the support for a time, until I found my community where there's real ones who had some of the positive street ethics and a better light of living for the greater good.
For sure. All right, now let's get into that.
What'd you say?
I want to know
Sorry,
a little bit about what you do now, because I know that, you know, I want you to talk about how you got into the recovery, because you have a treatment center. So talk about that. That's amazing.
Well, yes, I have a treatment center.
How'd that start? Like, what?
It's called Westside Recovery. We do a lot of things. No, I'm joking. You know, me and my journey, and someone took the time to sit down with me and help me out and learn how to take my own inventory and how to be of service to others. And that's really where the power is at, is like helping another, like, addict or alcoholic, and being part of the community and doing the work and stuff. And, you know, I have a platform, so it was really hard for me to get out of myself to get help. It was really hard. Of course, it had to be my decision, but even after I stopped drinking and stuff, I still had my own reservations, not with drinking or using, but just my attitude and the way I would deal with things, and this kind of toxic mindset of negativity and self-sabotaging and everything. So I know there's a lot of artists and skateboarders and musicians and who kind of have this like mindset. So I was just like, why not use my platform to have a place that they can have someone like me who they know is from the streets, been to prison, knows all these codes, and is switching it up so they have a safe place to come and do that. So I partnered with another facility and I helped them out with their activities program and business development, marketing, and all this stuff. And they taught me this industry, and then we stayed on track to open up Westside. And now, we got the skateboarding program, music program, art, yoga, Pilates, and music. So it's different, but it's kind of cool because me wanting to go against like systems and stuff, like I kind of get to do that for like the greater good, because I'm like, okay, these cookie cutter facilities and the way they do stuff and it's all tightened up and buttoned up and everything's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Like, we're people. There's a lot of great therapists out there. There's a lot of great programs, and I get that, but it's just like doing something imperfect perfectly, and that's meeting someone where they're at and asking them like, what are your dreams and goals and aspirations? What do you want to get back to? What's your passion? And I use my connections and plugs to help people to get that, and sobriety is a part of it, and getting them, detox and stabilized. But my whole point is to get people back to what they want to do in life and use my connections to do that within our community.
It's beautiful. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
What do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself back and forth between here in Japan. I have a skateboard project that I'm working on there. I see myself continuing to help people and develop and continue working on skate projects and personal goals and stuff, but actually how it looks out on paper, my 5-year plan, I already did it in a year. So I gotta re-up it.
Yep. Get that.
And that's all thanks to my community, my support, sobriety, my sponsor. I wouldn't have been able to do any of that unless I had that support. It wasn't me. For one, it was God first. God is everything and nothing. And I'm not just saying that because, I'm not religious. I respect all religions. I was raised as Catholic and everything, but I just, through what I've been through, including dying and stuff, I just have my own relationship with God and am confident enough to say, like, we don't know, and it's okay not to know.
Dying. What happened? You died.
I got hit by a car by a drunk driver right before I turned pro, and broke my leg, smashed my skull, flatlined 4 times for 4 minutes each, and had a whole nother spiritual experience and was in a coma and came out of that. So yeah, I've been there, and that's what made me change my definite beliefs of what's going on. It's pretty, one opinion I will say about belief and everything, it's just like, we are pretty arrogant as a human being to actually think we know what's going on. That it can even fit in our brains, because we are everything that's going on. And to describe that, then how can you? I don't even want to get into that. It's just, why do you think there's I am, within you, it exists within you, you are, like, it's just, it's so deep, it's crazy.
Dive into it.
Oh, you want me to dive into it? Like, in what context?
Like, what is I am?
It's just like in all teachings and all religions and everything, it's said that, God is a part of you, God is within you, right? And that's the truth. Like, what better way for God to experience or to be in everything in all of us without bearing witness to all this. And you can break it down scientifically with atoms. There's atoms in you, me, all of us, the skateboard. It's all bearing witness. That table, it had to make decisions to fit the way it does. It's just like, it's bigger than we can even fit in our brains. It's all one. It's all, that's why I say there's only, one God. It's all bearing witness right now. And then, and I really got an understanding of that when I did die, and another experience when I jumped off a bridge running from the cops. So I had a couple of spiritual experiences that lined up and made me realize, like, oh yeah, we don't know what's going on. It's so much deeper than you can explain in the human language.
Have you had any, since you've been sober, how do you get through the bad times or bad days? Because people assume that what's the point of getting sober if your life is gonna be shit, and at the end of the day, it doesn't always start off great, for a lot of people.
Well, I would say that you speak your experiences into existence. If you're just gonna say that your life's gonna be shitty, then thy will be done, right? So you gotta pay attention to really how you talk about yourself, even negatively, because you got 6 trillion cells in your body that's listening and it doesn't know the difference. So when people say they're old or this or that or whatever, it's just like, why are you even speaking like that? So it's what I do when I'm going through, it's life. Life is difficult. You can have a good life and there's still stuff that goes wrong. And to answer your questions, because I have tools that I learned from the program and my sponsor, my mentors. And, if I'm having a bad day, I take time. I don't try to busy myself, distracting myself. Because it's the same thing with using drugs. You're just it's a quick fix. Distractions. I actually try to read, meditate, take care of my body, realize it can be, it's one of three things. It's mind, body, and spirit. And with your mind, maybe there's too much going on. There's only so much that we can take, so you might want to put your thoughts down on paper and actually read it back to yourself and see what can I control, what can't I control. And you don't have to believe in God or whatever, but just let it go. Give it somewhere else, let it go. So that's your mind and your body. Are you exercising? Are you taking care of your body? Are you having those healthy releases of endorphins? That's gonna make you feel good. And your spirit, meditating, checking in with yourself. I tell people all the time, and if you notice, a lot of people, most people, they're just be like, I just can't meditate, or I don't have time. It's just I tell people, if you can't spend 10 minutes with yourself, what makes you think anyone else can spend 10 minutes with you? So you better get to know yourself. And going back to the body, pay attention to what you're eating. This is your temple. People usually just eat what they want, what they feel like their taste buds want. But a lot of people are allergic to stuff that they don't even know they're allergic to, and it can affect your mind, body, and spirit. The food is your fuel. And most people eat meat. You're eating the dead. So you better know that that animal or whatever was in a good place before you're eating it. Like, at least do your research. Just don't eat whatever you want, because a lot of people say you're eating an animal that was tortured and depressed and has anxiety and all this stuff and is pumped full of chemicals, and then you eat it. What makes you think that you're not going to have the same thing? So a lot of it has to do with, like, after you get rid of the drugs and alcohol, like, what are you putting in your body? How are you nurturing your soul? And what are you doing actively? Because I always tell people movement is medicine. So you better get to moving. Don't live in your head. Move.
I have one more question. And one more. And then you could take the, what do you have to say? Because I get a lot of like younger people that just can't picture not smoking weed. Like they're like, I can quit drinking, I can quit doing any of the harder drugs, but like weed is illegal, it's always gonna be there. Like, what do you say to the people that want to be California sober or?
Well, I'd say, like, things you own end up owning you, and it's just like you're always gonna have that control. Like, I would ask someone, like, do you like being controlled? I like being free. I like being able to, like, people who can't operate without using something. Like, of course, if you have a terminal illness, and rather than some of the other drugs they have out there, like, yes, it's useful, but let's break it down. Like, marijuana is a sacred plant, okay? Yes, it is natural, all these arguments and everything, but anything you abuse is gonna do the opposite effect. And if you have an addiction issue, like, let's not lie to yourself. You know what you're doing. Like, you're not terminally ill. Like, you don't know, you know what's going on. You're just cheating. And I would say, like, if people watch Lord of the Rings and look at Smeagol with the ring and stuff, and just look at weed like that. It's just like you're gonna get Smeagoled out. That's what's happened. It's your precious. You are controlled by it. And to have that argument, like, I get it. I used to be a big smoker. I used to have my kit and everything. I wake up, smoke, eat, smoke. Before I leave, smoke. It was just, and like, I was so relieved to, like, get past that. And it's hard because that forces you to do the work in yourself and see, what are you suppressing? What's going on? Like, can you do it? And I assure you, everyone has the power to overcome anything, and it's just doing the hard things is just going to make you that much more powerful. Because just like with, like, water, you can drink too much water and drown. Anything with food, anything. Like, if you're just doing something every day just because you're obsessed with your own feelings, then you're just missing, like, the point of life. And it's just, abuse is abuse, and that can go with food or anything, overindulgence of sex, whatever your thing is. Like, try being with yourself, because I just want to tell people you're enough. And I know that sounds like whatever, but I only speak through experience. Like, I was the biggest smoker and everything, and things just got way better and everything when I don't have, like, something control me. Because I'd be traveling, going out of town, and instead of like going to amazing countries and everything, and my first thought was just like, I need weed when I get there. Like, I need the plug right away. Like, and that's crazy. I'm not thinking about where am I gonna go or what time I need to go visit this. Like, no, I'm worried, making sure I have weed so I can zap myself. And I have nothing against, I'm not talking down to people or whatever. I was just saying, try something new. And you know what it is. You know what you're doing. And look at it like this. Like, people are like, oh, I just can't weed. Like, what would you say to someone your friend who's like, let's just say anorexic or overweight? You would just say, like, just eat or whatever. Or someone's like, well, like, start taking care of yourself. It's the same thing. Like, it has to be your choice. Like, I get it. I did it. Nothing good comes easy. It takes work, so.
And go to West Coast Recovery if you need
No, that's not true. It's West Side Recovery.
On the camera.
I mean, the way that you're speaking, you know, that's advanced recovery. That's exactly what recovery is, because when we first get clean, our biggest problem is alcohol and drugs in our head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as we start to work on ourselves, we realize that it's really important to focus on other areas of our life. What we eat, you know, are we being active, like all of those things. And you know, for a lot of people, their biggest thing is, especially because I work with a lot of people, you work with a lot of people, and I see that a lot, where their biggest goal is just to not drink or just to not use. And that is the biggest fucking lie, you know? It is way bigger than that. If that is your only goal, you will relapse. You know, you have to move with purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to progress and better other parts of my life, learn more. We're not here long enough to even learn anything. Like, learn a different language. Like, there's so much stuff you can get active with, you know, like that I didn't have growing up. It's like, you got the internet, you got AI now. Like, you can really start cooking. Like, and get out of your head. Sponsor told me one time, I'm just like complaining kind of this. And he said the simplest thing to me one time. He's like, why don't you call somebody else and see how they're doing? He's like, why don't you get out of your head? Like, call somebody else, seeing how they're doing. With that said, I'll say to people who feel like they're going through something, you're not the only one going through it. And even though when we are going through difficult things, we feel like our situations are unique, but they're not, because we're all connected. And just talk to a couple people, I guarantee you there'll be other people that are going through something similar that they can relate to. And that's what service is all about. It's just, you just got to have the courage to open up and actually put yourself out there. Otherwise, nobody will ever know. That's why some people are so into themselves, like nobody cares, nobody's not doing anything. Like, we're not mind readers. People aren't mind readers. Like, people be like, I didn't even know you were going through that. Why don't you tell me? Like, oh, I lost my mom too, like, or whatever, you know, like. And it's constant work, because I have to check myself on that too. I'm not perfect. I'll be in my head and but it's so cool to be able to recognize it. Like, yo, I'm addict behavior for the last 2 days. This is crazy, you know? So.
What's one of the most fulfilling things in your life right now?
Just,
you can even go down the list of what you do, but we're just gonna let that just.
I do a lot of things. It consists of a lot of things. But I'll just also say there's fear of the things that don't exist is just as damaging as the fear of things that do exist. So you got to be really conscious on what you let live in your head. But what are you saying?
I said, what's the most fulfilling thing in your life today? You know,
Just being able to being able to do what I love for a living, and help other people, and just like so many cool people that there was one point where I just thought, like, dang, like this life would be so lame without doing certain things and going to bars, watching the games, just like with my small little circle. And now I have so many connections with people that I would have never like fucked with, like in my mindset that I was in, because I was so closed off. I was so judgmental. I'd be like, you're a square, like whatever, you're lame. Like, and I was lame at a point, because I thought there was only one way, and there's not, because there's plenty of gangsters out there handling real business who are good people and who do good things, but still are with the business. And I like that. If we all went to war and everything and all that, and really shit hit the fan, I know right there, I know I could count on him, and he, you know.
Awesome.
No, I could count a Oscar right there. If shit's a fan, we gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, and you already know that. Like, I already know that by just meeting him. Like, you know, Will, everyone, you know, like, and that's, but you ain't gotta live like that. We ain't at war. We ain't gotta act like everything is you know, like we gotta defend and protect. Like, that's no way to live.
Is this your dream life?
Yes, it is my dream life. And I'm just like so grateful for you guys, people, community, opportunities, the ups and the downs, because and people get afraid of failure and stuff, and I just tell people there is no success without failure. Like, when you fail, like, that's like you did the first step of success. But if you are too afraid to even fail, like, you haven't started the process. Like, we've all failed. And that's why skateboarding is so cool too, because I fail every day, and that's the perfect lesson in life. Is like, I'll get it, but you got to just get, I would say, learn how to get really good at failing.
That's half the battle, right? It's just going for it.
Just getting back up after you fail.
Yeah, and what you learn when you pick yourself back up, because there's, no matter what bad, the worst things that can happen in the world, there's no matter what bad is going on, whatever, there is always the perception of what could I learn from that? Like, what did you learn? What could you learn from that? Like, there's always, I'm not going to say positive, because people lose people, whatever, but there is something to learn.
There's a lesson in everything.
And you still, to this day, get to travel the world and skate, or what does your life consist of now? You have
I just got back.
Yeah. So you still skate, you have your residential. Can you get into that?
Now he wants to ask my question. So tell us a list of what you do.
Yes, I'm a professional skateboarder. I own West Side Recovery. I have a concrete business. I have a label, music label, partners with a tattoo shop. I'm in the boutique hotel business, and part of a community called Portal. We do retreats and stuff like that. And then in Japan, we got like a skate lounge, and I'm in the process of building a skate park over there that has English teaching and Japanese history. Oh, and then I have a clothing company called Good Parking that's purpose is to have cash for tricks for other skateboarders for a contest in fashion. So.
I saw that. That looks great.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
It is.
Thank you.
I got nothing else. You did great.
And you could do it too.
100%.
You could do it too. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of failure, but hey, let's go.
Is there anything that you would say to younger kids or people that are struggling with addiction? Just something quick.
Yeah, just don't pay attention to the noise and what's on your like phone or the screen. Like, actually spend some time with yourself and like see what exists in you without any influence. And I think there's real power there, because the power lies within you, and you can do whatever you want in life without influence. And that's where the creators are born, from within.